What is up, guys? Team Dude 91 here. I know that it's been a little bit of a while since I've done another video, and yeah, it's going to be my last video on inauthentic existence for a while. I'll get into why in a second, but yeah, first off, my apologies that this video has actually taken much longer in order to do out. I originally wanted in order to get myself on camera again for this video. However, my camera actually had its battery died, and it's been taking a bit in order to find a way in order to charge that and fix that, but I know I gotta record this or else it's just not gonna get done. And if you couldn't tell, this is another one of my unscripted videos. So yeah, it's a bit of an update, a bit of some interesting news, and a bit of what has been going on. So for those of you who aren't aware or who haven't been watching my channel over the last couple of weeks, Inauthentic Existence is a alternate reality game that has been running for the last couple of months, and it is something that I have been playing and keeping up with, and of course releasing a bunch of videos on. And I have 3 videos in total. This is going to be my 4th video on it now. And essentially, what has happened is that Act 1 went great, Act 2 went for a lot longer than it probably should have, but was still pretty good in the end, and we had a lot of questions by the end of it. And then, of course, finally going into Act 3, we could tell that it was just getting, well, a little bit interesting and a little bit trickier in order to figure stuff out. We weren't finding as much hidden codes in there. It was mostly metaphorical with the videos. There was a lot of confusion, and it definitely felt like there was some burnout. And that was something that came to a head when the creator actually stepped out from behind the shadows. They revealed in Discord who they were. They explained why they were feeling burnout. They actually wanted to cancel the series initially, but later double backed on that and figured, just like, we'll continue it, but only if I'm able to get enough support to continue it. So it's currently on hiatus. I had a feeling that it might happen, but at the same time, though, the reason I had that feeling was because I already knew who the creator was, and I've known since the end of Act 2. And this is something that I stated in the Discord as well. So if you're in the Discord and you know about that stuff, then yeah, you've probably already read my messages. You already know that, yes, I did in fact know at the end of Act 2 that Cacophony of Minds, aka Calm, aka Insomnia, as they were known in their own Discord, is the creator of Inauthentic Existence. And they're the ones who've been running every single one of the accounts. They've been managing so many accounts for this ARG. It's, oh my god, it's mind-boggling to me that they went into so much stuff and detail with that. And it really became interesting as we get further and further with our understanding of it as well. But as for my end of it, once I knew, I kind of helped out a little bit, unprompted, mind you. I wasn't told by Calm in order to help out with anything. I would just notice that they were trying to push something in the Discord for us in order to take a look at, and I would be all like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and pop in, and let's go ahead and have some fun. And so I would play, of course, the character of someone who is investigating, because, you know, technically I am, and I would just essentially prompt Insomnia in character under one of his other accounts to fish and post off for information. And it came to a head when we literally had a code that you could not solve. There was literally billions of combinations of how you could have put that string of letters and numbers together. And I actually made a deal, and that's going to be something that I'm going to have repercussions from someday. And I was hoping that Insomnia would have taken me up on that deal at some point before the burnout ended, but now we're just going to have to wait until that actually happens. As for the details of that deal, I can't say. because just there's a chance that it might still happen, and I don't want to reveal anything to anyone because that would just be ruined. I'm not a guy for spoilers. But anyway, overall though, I after we had the chance of it potentially ending, I also decided to put a code of my own out on Instagram. In which case, yes, I do have an Instagram. I just barely use it. But yeah, when it comes down to that, nobody has solved it yet. Nobody's still given a full-on solution for that video. And yeah, until people actually get a solution for that video, they're not going to be able to see what I did for it. So yeah, you're going to have to wait to figure that one out. I might do something as well with this one as well, but we'll see. Anyway, yeah, again, you can tell when I'm unscripted because I have a lot of as, and other stuff. But anyway, as kind of a cap off to my entire thing about this, that yes, Act 3 is on hiatus, I was at least given the opportunity to actually interview Cacophony of Minds. I took the time in order to interview Calm. So, yeah, and I think that a lot of the info in there is definitely interesting. So, for those of you who are into behind the scenes, stick around, because here we go with my interview with Cacophony of Minds. So, just to start off, really basic, go ahead and state who you are, like give a name you're comfortable with using on the internet, and what it is you primarily do on the web. Just, standard facts and whatnot.
Well, my name is Calm, as everybody knows, apparently. And basically, I just do digital creation, maybe videos or images, not too much. I don't know.
It's fine, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not every day you get interviewed.
yeah.
Anyways, right down to the meat and potatoes. What made you wanted to start an alternate reality game in the first place?
Uh, I believe it was a series called 70 Broad, which is very good. I wasn't actually there for it, but I saw a video by Inside a Mind about it, and it just seemed like something I'd want to do.
Yeah, no, I'm quite familiar with 70 Broad as well, actually. Uh,
Yeah,
Dude pulled multiple reversals, if I
yeah, it
remember
was
correctly.
tricky.
Yeah, it was hella nutty. Yeah. Is there any place in particular that you got like the account names for the projects? So stuff like Desolate Survivor and whatnot.
Well, I've had these characters in mind for years, but it was until then that I had the ARG thought. So it was just basing it off of their personalities of their characters themselves.
Hmm. All right. Yeah. So what would you say would be your process with the project? Like, how long did it take to go from your concept that you've had, and like how long you're holding on to that, all the way up to the first post? And what did you do before the game actually, went into the live ops section?
Huh. Well, that's very rough because I literally just started posting randomly one day because I was like, let's just do it now. I didn't have a full thought process. I didn't have anything. I was just running and gunning it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for a running gun, it's very well done.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so I'm pretty sure I know how you're already going to answer this, but what were some major complications you had during the live ops of the game?
Like interaction.
Yeah, like either interactions or just issues you had with either like certain uploads not wanting in order to work or stuff like that.
It was probably the biggest issue was the audience. That was very difficult.
Mm.
Like showing people the game was one thing, and then them not understanding was the hardest thing to do because you can't just say it's an ARG, but at the same time you don't want to scare people.
Right, yeah, and that's kind of a hard thing in our field in order to also do as well. And at the same time, with pulling people and just randomly friending people on Instagram like you were doing as the characters, pulls on a lot of people into the realm that we normally don't have in these games.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, no, I'm honestly surprised that enough of them actually stuck around or actually figured out pretty quickly what was going on.
Yeah, that's what another thing is. Like, after I friended people, it was another thing to keep up the content. And another thing that was really difficult was if I was posting too much and nobody was looking.
Right. Yeah, and just as someone who even, of course, as you know, I worked on the videos, just for trying to decipher this stuff, and it's just like, yeah, even I felt burnout, and I was the one who wanted to be solving this stuff.
Yeah, I was like, "Are you sure, man? I mean, a whole video? That was rough."
Yeah, no, I was like, and admittedly, initially, I didn't want to do the full 3 videos I ended up doing to begin with. I just wanted to do that first one to start in order to get people interested in the project. But then, just as
Yeah.
things continue going on, and as I realized you're going to be posting this in acts, I'm like, well, if it's going to be in acts anyway, and there's going to be like substantial breaks, then maybe I could do it. And then you kicked off Act 2 like a few days after Act 1 was over.
That was too brutal. I should have waited longer.
Yeah, probably like a week or two at the most.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I already know this fact, but you used dreams as your medium, correct, for making the project?
Yes, actually.
Yeah. So you want to talk a little bit about the process and what actually went into creating each video?
Well, the thing that was the hardest was that I had to make these models for characters from scratch, so I had no references whatsoever. Like, it was probably the hardest part, and then I had to constantly make revisions, and at the same time, I probably put myself in too much of a strain because I would make a video and then the same day upload it. None of them were made beforehand.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's what I did in my early days of YouTube. I didn't have any pre-basis for my videos. Whenever it was done, it would get uploaded.
Yeah, I was like, there it is. I don't care if it doesn't look right. It's just going at one point.
Mm. Yeah, no, in fact, some of my content is still like that because I just can't wait in order to put it out after I finish it.
Yeah. And another thing about that is that if I sit on a project too long and then I have it where it's pre-uploaded, I'll just find something I want to change, so it's never going to be done. So I have to upload it even if I'm not happy with it.
Right. Yeah, and that's at least a nice mentality I want to have, especially for talking from experience. I'm a perfectionist. So it's
Yeah.
just all like, whenever I see a mistake, it's like, well, it's already uploaded, so I'm just going to have to remember to nip that in the bud for the next video.
Yeah, you got to learn from it.
Yeah. Okay, so this next one's a little bit indulgent for me. As I mentioned before, I've been working on these videos for the project. What made you shift your plans? Because I know you did after I started doing that. And start messing with me and the rest of the player base, because I know everyone kind of lost their shit.
Well, like, what do you mean mess with him? Because I did a lot of stuff actually.
Yeah, just like, I mean, you took the time in order to actually grab my character and insert it in, and just the conversations that you and I had in character before I even knew you were the creator. Um, Definitely added some extra things. So it was like, did you take inspiration from other places for doing that, or you just did it on a whim?
Oh yeah, I did it on a whim because the whole story itself, my idea was that I planned it out a while ago. I knew how the characters went, so if something happened, I would have it happen naturally as if real life would. I didn't want it to make it like a story too much. I wanted it to seem like it was something that was just ongoing and you wouldn't know what would happen.
Right. Right, yeah, and that actually segues pretty well into my next question. I know there was a lot of difficulty with people, like we were solving the codes, but a lot of people were having trouble putting the story together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were.
So yeah, and apologies as players, we were very slow to doing that. So what exactly were we supposed to take away from the story, and what were some of the things that we missed in the game?
Well, some of the things that you missed early on was that if you look at the I would just call them memories because that's sort of what it is. All of it is just memories. Nothing is happening present day. Like if you go to Deceit, where Carter is just blowing up, a lot of the things where they're wearing white clothes is just them dreaming things of what have happened
Mm,
previously. And that's why music is playing because, like, the current day, they're listening to music and they're going back in their minds with their searcher gauntlets. So all of this you're seeing is memories. That's why a lot of it doesn't really make sense. It looks like an acid trip, but that's one of the biggest things nobody got.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but that definitely puts a lot more things into context
Yeah, it does.
for my mind as well, because it's just like, oh yeah, well that definitely makes it interesting. Yeah, it's like I could definitely tell they were at least talking about the past, especially with certain things that have been going on. Because again, we were able to put together the whole Carrie serial killer arc thing with a lot of help.
Yes. I made like 5 different theft posts about it, like three or
Yeah,
four in one day. I'm like, oh, we're not gonna solve that.
yeah, it's just oh lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you were given the chance to start this over from scratch, would you have done anything differently over the course of the game?
What I would have done differently was definitely have a group because I think, 15 accounts I was running daily, and I couldn't keep it up by myself.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, let's see here. There were the. Oh, God. Um, yeah, you had a bunch of different Instagram accounts.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all the YouTube channels.
Yeah.
And then I think, yeah, well, Mega doesn't really use a whole account thing, if I remember correctly. It's just you upload it. But
Yeah. And Discord was the hardest because, like, if somebody would ping me as a character, I would have to keep switching to accounts to respond to everyone. It was difficult.
yeah, and that's how I kind of knew that it was one person behind it, because no two characters would be online at the same time.
No, impossible.
Yeah, technically impossible. The only way you could really pull it off is if you had one logged onto a computer and one logged onto a phone. But then it's going to look a little
Yeah.
bit weird because the auto detects for phone icons.
Yeah, it's true.
So, just for the time being, I know that you've definitely been feeling some burnout just from the amount of work you actually put into this. But are there any other projects that you are thinking of trying to do in the future, or you think you might just try revisiting this later on down the line?
Well, yes, actually, I am going to continue this soon, and I'm actually still working on it. I know I said it'd stop, but I can't stop working on it. It's coming back eventually.
Mm-hmm. And I know we'll all definitely enjoy ourselves as much when it definitely comes down to that point.
If you enjoy pain, then yes. Yes.
I might not be a masochist. There's a couple of people in the Discord I think who are though.
Yeah, it's tough solving that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like definitely. Uh, I know there were also just some of the codes that were like really, really hard to read as well.
Yes, that's YouTube compression, actually. I never realized it was such an issue until now.
Well, not just the YouTube compression, with that one being an issue. Some of the ones where they just like they were darkened to hell.
Oh, yeah. I did that on purpose, but after uploading the video, I'm like, it's their problem now, though.
Yeah. So it's just like even with me trying in order to mess with brightness every now and again is like no, brightness doesn't want to work. Neither does
Like
contrast.
like the one with the box that nobody could solve.
Yeah, literally. Like I'm the only one who has access to that code because you gave it to me in the behind the scenes stuff. And just like I just said is like I'm just gonna leave this alone. I'm gonna mention it in the video that it has a code there and let people lose their minds.
When I saw the video, I'm like, how does he know? What does he know that I don't know he knows? I didn't realize I sent you that.
Yeah, you sent it as part of that, but it's just like I think that might have been even the last video that was included in that file. So
Yeah.
everything from there I had to do freeform.
Oh, yeah. The timeline was the worst part of it. Just watching you guys look at it like, okay, this was posted this day. And then you miss like 10 days in between. I'm like, okay, I'll just let them solve it.
Yeah, it's just oh lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last one I got for now, unless you want to add anything after. Any advice you want to give to any aspiring ARG or unfiction creators in our field?
Definitely have a team. It's not good by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'll throw in a
Yeah.
bonus one just for myself. Have it planned out beforehand.
Yeah, I had this plan, but at the same time, I planned a 5 act story and I tried 3 by myself. It just did not work at all.
Right. Yeah. Well, definitely thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. If you want to see this series continue, there is a Patreon for Inauthentic Existence. I will link that below where you can go and support the series and help Calm with finishing this project sometime down the line. And of course, I have my own Patreons as well, if for whatever reason you like my kind of content. As for the world of alternate reality games, I've really gotten a hook. I'll probably do more of this for other series, a lot more smaller scale stuff. Probably not going to be going as in depth as I did, but we shall see. Not entirely sure. It depends on when I discover stuff and when I find things. I still have plans for a lot of my own projects that I have a lot going on behind the scenes, and I'm also in the process of transferring between jobs as well. And that's really going to affect how I'm able to do stuff on my YouTube channel because, livelihood and working a job comes first before you are able to fully present yourself before others. So, yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it for today. So, thank you guys all so much for watching. Thanks again to Calm for taking the time in order to let me do the interview and setting the whole thing up. And yeah, until next time, this is Demon Dude 91 signing out.